There's kind of two that always come to mind. One of them was with this man named Felipe in Brazil. And his wife was a member, and she used to be super active, and then once they started dating, fell away from the church, and they were living together. They weren't married. And we went over there and started teaching them. I remember on the first night we tried to teach Felipe, and he was like, I'm atheist. I think you guys just make up God to make you feel better. I really am not interested. And so I left kind of like, he's not interested. But I had an awesome companion, and she was like, you need to keep teaching him. And then they split up the area, so I got a new companion. I'm still teaching him, and my old companion was like, you need to go teach him. He's special. And so we started going back, and it was just the most incredible thing. He just totally changed. The Spirit just worked on him so strongly even when we weren't there. And we would just have these most amazing experiences. I remember praying with him for the first time, and him just feeling like this weight had been lifted off, and he just slowly started to believe in God and have these experiences. And he would dream of him meeting Jesus Christ, and he just had these really crazy things, like amazing things happen to him, especially for being an atheist. And we taught him for 4 months, and he started coming to church and loving it, and he just could sense this difference in himself. And then I got transferred. He ended up getting baptized at that point, and I ended up going home a couple months later, and I would stay in contact with him and his wife, and they would make so much progress, but they just weren't quite there. And then one day, I just got this message from him in a baptismal font, and he had gotten baptized, and he was like, I woke up this morning, and I knew it's what I needed to do. And he got baptized, and then I actually got to go back to Brazil with my mom a couple months ago in August. So I came home in December. He got baptized in like June. And then in August, I went back to Brazil, and he gave his first talk on Sunday. And he was just a changed man. He talked about his experience. He talked about his relationship with God and how we can't deny the Spirit and how it'll work with us. And it was just incredible. And you see the fruits after your labors too. You don't see everything when you're on your mission. It was incredible to go back 1 year after I had been there, and this guy that was an atheist and wouldn't even make eye contact with us is now speaking at church on Sunday, and he passed us the sacrament, and he's just this new human. And I just felt like in that moment I just saw how much the gospel can do and how important missionary work is, because him and his wife are just so much happier and stronger, and they're working towards going to the temple, and you can feel this different spirit about them. And it was incredible. Another one was this boy named Kaiki. And Kaiki was a different boy. And we were teaching his mom, and she was kind of progressing, and he would always just go into the other room and didn't want to talk to us. We tried to teach him, he didn't care. He had a really bad attitude. He was 16 or 17. And one day, we forced him to come sit and listen to a lesson. And he was not listening, and at the end, we were like, will you say a prayer with us? And he kind of begrudgingly got down and knelt, and we were like, what? And we just kind of said, this is your opportunity to talk to God, who loves you, and what do you want right now? What do you want out of your life? And he said, I want my family to be united, because his parents had this really messy divorce, and his sister was gone, and his family just hadn't been together. And so he prayed for that in his first prayer he's ever said. And then about 3 or 4 days later, we came back. Something had fallen through, so we'd stopped by their house. And we came back, and his dad just happened to be there, which he usually wasn't. And his sister just happened to be coming home at the same time. Not just happened, it was very inspired. But so we got there, and we had the entire family sit down, and we taught them about the gospel of Jesus Christ. And at the end, the whole family knelt down, and the father offered a prayer. And at the end of the prayer, Caillou we look over and he's just crying. And that was a really humbling moment to see this boy that was so hard and kind of a teenager just sobbing. And we asked him, Caillou, why are you crying? And he was like, this is the first time that my family has ever been united together. And that was such a special moment to me, because I just felt how strongly Heavenly Father loved him, and how that was such a direct answer to prayers. He had said his first prayer and asked for that, and 3 days later, his entire family was kneeling in prayer together. And it was just an experience that I'll never forget. The spirit that was there, the miracle that had happened, the love that I knew that Heavenly Father had for him. And it was just I remember sitting there and being like, my entire mission, all the hard parts, all the bad parts were so worth it just to watch this family come together right now. And so those are my two like favorite moments.